Good morning. My name is Monique Kyle, and today I would like to talk about TV violence and how it is harming our children. The first thing I want to bring to your attention is, what is the most violent thing you've ever seen on TV? Is it a murder, domestic violence, a crime against our children, or just a report on our nightly news of war? Whatever it is that you've seen on TV, I'm sure that it's been embedded into our memory. We know that these images will not harm us. I like to talk about the things that I have learned about TV violence. But before I get into this about how TV violence is harming our children, I like to talk a little bit about the TV businesses. Now, when we start debating about what to show and what not to show on TV, there's this big thing called money. And of course, in America, everything revolves around money in corporate America. But does that money have to be what our children are subjected to the violence that's on TV? And I come to say, no, it shouldn't be a money factor about what our children are being exposed to. According to the National Coalition, what constitutes TV violence? Is it a deliberate act with hostile intent? Or is it a commission of a deliberate act? And I answer yes to all of these. From 92 to 95, the gunplay on TV has rose to about 334%. That's just about every scene that's on the show on TV that's being shown, that you'll see a gun and someone's being shot, someone's being killed, someone's being threatened with a gun. That's not the type of environment that our children should be exposed to on a daily basis. Then you have the sexual content that they're being exposed to, on average about every four minutes. I can remember a time back when you never saw the violence on TV. You never saw the sexual content on TV. And some of the TV shows that bring me to mind that you never saw these kind of events, shows like Good Times, shows like Green Acres, you never saw that kind of violence. It was always about family environment, about how to bring family together, how to live off or live with what you had there because their families couldn't do any better. Living from their natural surroundings. Not about killing and stealing and taking from others. But then you have shows like Boys in the Hood, Men's to Society, and Natural Born Killers, and Gangs of New York. These movies, the content, all are filled with nothing but murder, violence, disillusion to young minds, because some of our young children cannot decipher between reality and fantasy. And there is one big one that really sticks in the back of my mind: Dungeons and Dragons. I can remember years ago with this movie, I want to say it was a family in South Carolina. Their son and a couple of his friends played Dungeons and Dragons day in and day out. And this was filled with murder. It was filled about dragons, fantasy, nothing about reality, sorcery, and witchery. Well, the son ended up getting his friends to attempt to kill his parents. The father died. And during the investigation, they found out why his mind was so disturbed. It was because of this one show, Dungeons and Dragons. It's a video game, and they even made a movie from it. Now, this movie here shows nothing but violence, pure D violence. And talk about fantasy. If we as parents do not sit down and talk to our children about what's reality and what's fantasy, our children's minds will get wrapped around us, and this will become a part of their everyday life. Some kids will become insensitive to other people's feelings, to their surroundings. They will have respect for no laws, no rules, no regulations, and their attitudes will become violent. Or they might not become necessarily violent, but they may become hostile at times. They may become enraged when they shouldn't be. They won't know how to control these feelings on the inside. And why? because of what they're being surrounded to. So now I ask you today, children between the ages of 9 and 10, they actually become convicted felons. They actually commit crimes. And why? It's because of what they're being surrounded to. So I ask you today, parents, what can we do to turn this around, that our children will not be exposed to these programs? Well, now, if you go through our local cable company, they have parental control, and you can block out what your child is watching. Just a click of your remote control. And then when you sit down and talk to your children, find out just how much they know about reality and about fantasy, how they feel about certain shows. And instead of allowing your children to sit down and watch TV day in and day out, allow your children to get into school activities, or just take them outside to play, go on camping trips, take a walk, anything but to sit there and allow your children to watch these violent shows. Now, I know parents have to work. Everyone is not fortunate to be able to sit home and do these things with our children, but it is our duty to our children to sit there and talk to them about the dangers of this environment, and that we do not approve of our children watching these shows. And I'll state again, we can use our parental codes. You can actually set those codes to where you don't even have to worry about your children watching it, because if they don't have that 4-digit code, they have no access to those channels. Now, I like satellite TV. And the reason I like this is because the Disney Channel. Now, I have a young daughter, and I allow her to watch the Disney Channel. And that's predominantly what she watches. And she has so many options, varieties of what she can watch on Disney. She loves That's So Raven, which teaches them about friendship, being responsible, what family is, love. So now I'm going to leave you now. I just wanted to bring this to you of what is being shown us just on your local television show, and how we can take steps to prevent our children from being surrounded with such an environment of violence. There's enough violence out here in the world as it is. So parents, I challenge you. Just take a little time and talk to your children to find out what it is they're watching on TV, and just explain to them that some shows are not for young viewers and why it's not for young viewers. Well, thanks for listening to my speech. Have a great day. Bye.